This video is sponsored by DecalWorks, offering 10% off all graphics to retail customers. Use the promo code RX10 at decalmx.com to receive 10% off your graphics.
All right, guys, a special garage build over here on RacerXOnline.com. I'm Chris Kiefer. Welcome in. We're at Kahia Creek. They call it Kahia Creek MX, but we're actually in the off-road portion of the track. So lots of property here to work off of. And we brought a special build. It's the 50th anniversary year for FMF. I brought Lil D. You guys know him. He doesn't need introduction. And 2023 Husqvarna TE 300. And he unloaded this thing out of this van, and I was like, holy crap, there is a lot of goodies on there. So Lil D doesn't know every bit and piece of this bike, but we're gonna go over it a little bit for you guys, explain what we're doing here today, and let Lil D take it over.
I mean, I should know more about this build that we did because we went, all out. It was like every little piece you could put on this bike we did, from tie bolts, hubs, wheels, factory brake, Brembo brakes. I mean, we did the whole deal.
Showa suspension on a Husqvarna.
Showa suspension on a Husqvarna. We're mixing things up. We're gonna try it out. This is the first day riding this thing. Right. So we're between you and me. We're gonna break it in the creek. I don't know where the creek. I don't know where the creek's at, but it's
dry,
somewhere. We're gonna find it. There's killer off-road loops out here, so I'm excited to ride. I get to gear up, which is gonna be cool. We're gonna take this Husqvarna TE 300 out. The cool thing is that it's a two-stroke. Here at FMF, we love two-strokes. 50 years in the making, half a century of making two-stroke exhaust for dirt bikes. That's pretty cool. Yep. So we figured, what a better way to celebrate by building a 50th build on a two-stroke, bring it back to the roots. Build. It's a vet build. We got the Trail Tech system for just in case the vets get lost on the trails,
which we do at times.
Definitely get rerouted. So a lot of cool stuff we're going to go over today. Had some great partners on this build. The guys at Seek Concepts, Recluse, Chirby's, Hunt Racing Products, the Nitro Moose guys, because guess what? I hate changing tires on the side of the trail. There's nothing worse than being the guy that's like, oh, sorry guys, got to stop, got a flat,
and it's not like you can bust out a tire in 8 minutes.
No, I'm not doing that. So we always run the Nitro Mooses, so that way you have no worries out on the trails in the middle of nowhere. Got to have a good light just in case you do get stuck out there. So we went with Baja Designs, of course. But we'll get more into the build. We're going to ride this thing. Super excited to test it out, test out the suspension.
An exciting year. I mean, 50 years for FMF. I mean, it's crazy to think that your dad started this company and it was so tiny. And now look at you. You're spearheading the company. Pop stepped away a little bit?
Nope, hasn't stepped away at all.
Really? He's all in still?
He's all in, riding as much as possible in the dyno room, working on, still has the passion of building all the two-stroke exhaust, so he heads that up. Get to work with him, every day, which is amazing.
That is.
It's a family-run business, American-made company. We still make everything in-house, which is not a lot going on.
Unheard of.
Yeah, it's kind of unheard of these days in California. So,
which is tough enough in itself.
Right. But we love the sport. We have the passion for riding dirt bikes and twisting the throttle and making a badass product that we get to bring to the consumer that they can bolt on their bike and go have fun.
Just real quick before we get out of here and go riding, FMF was one of my very first sponsors. Lil D and I are close in age, but 1999 I came across.
Not that close, but yeah.
1999 I was digging through some stuff the other day and I came across a sponsorship deal that I got, and I got 60% off pipes and silencers.
It's pretty good.
For me back then, that was unheard of for me. I was excited. I couldn't wait to tell my dad when he got home that he doesn't have to spend that much money on me anymore. And don't think I didn't try to order a pipe and silencer every month for my bike, right? So it's pretty cool for me to be here, a part of this with Lil D, and get to ride this cool build, which is your buddy's.
It is. It's a buddy's bike, and I said, you know what? Give me that thing. You spent all the money building this thing up. Let me have that thing. Let's go talk to Kiefer, the Racer X Garage Build, and let me rip that thing for the first time. Before you throw a leg over it, we're gonna go and we're gonna
break her in.
We're gonna take it to the creek and break it in. So
right, we're gonna go ride this thing right now. We'll be back to break it down a little bit further and give you guys our experiences. See you in a little bit. Okay, we're back. Me and Lil D just took a spin out here at the creek, as he would call it. Rob's 2023 TE 300.
Right.
It's been a minute since I rode one of these. Haven't really rode off-road in a while. It's kind of hot in California.
I can tell by your gear. You got some off-road gear.
Yeah, you're dressed for it.
I'm ready, dude.
Yeah.
Some water.
I'm a fair weather trail rider, as you can see. If it's not wet, I ain't riding trails. So, but nonetheless, when you watch the GoPro, that is I out there riding around. The action shots is Lil D. So, what are some of the points of this 50-year anniversary build? What are some of the points that you like out there?
Well, first of all, I think it's a great platform. I mean, this 300, I mean, for off-road riding, it's so smooth. The power delivery is just unreal. I mean, now you see why for hard enduro, these guys all have to ride two-strokes, because these things are just tractors. You could be stopped on a hillside and give it gas, and it just keeps going.
Yep.
Especially with this, you know, I'm not generally an auto clutch recluse guy. I normally like their manual moto style clutch. I'm a fan of the
older.
clutch. True. So, you know, getting used to that, I actually started really enjoying, like, especially when you're in like the tight rocky sections, when you just need to blip it, you can just do that without having to like really like clutch it. And these bikes are so good at the tractability that I think, you know, it's nice. You don't have to like dump a clutch to try to like get out of something. But one point I did notice is that we did do some work on the FMF pipe. So sorry about that, Rob.
Hold on.
Luckily, we know someone that will get you a new one.
Hopefully, yes.
You know, and something else I really liked is I don't sit down a lot because I'm a taller rider, especially for off-road riding. But the times I was sitting down for a vet rider,
that's pretty nice, right?
This C Concepts,
yes.
It is good.
It's nice. It's a nice wide platform here. I come off of a 23 YZ450F earlier this week, and it does a number on your rear end. This is really nice.
Yeah, no rear ends were harmed in this filming.
Yes.
So that's nice. But I don't know, overall, I mean, you ride four-strokes so often. What did you think about riding a two-stroke again and getting in off-road, getting in some of the tight stuff? I know you did go down too, so that is...
So for me, just right away, like the things that I noticed, kind of to piggyback off what Lil D said, is you have a two-stroke, you have this 300, and this model specifically is very luggable. So it's like having the benefit of a four-stroke, but the lightweight feeling of a two-stroke without the engine brake.
Yeah.
So when you get a four-stroke that is luggable and you can cruise around these trails in third gear, second gear, whatever you're in, there's still a lot of pitching, some engine braking. You got to use the clutch. This has a very free feel to it. Obviously, I'm used to using the clutch, like Lil D said. So it took me a little while to stay off this clutch lever. But once I did, I was like, man, I can't believe how free feeling it is to weave in and out of some of these trails. It's lightweight. It tracks really well. What we call in the testing world connectivity. So the connectivity to my throttle hand to this rear tire here is quite exceptional for me, especially right now how dry and dusty and slippery it is out there. So I can see why some of these hard enduro guys ride these bikes, or if you just want to go out with your friends and ride some single track trails that are tough or just flowy, this bike is easy to do that with. It doesn't take a lot of energy.
Yeah, you know, something else on the four strokes, like you were saying, you do get the engine braking, and then also in the tight stuff, you know, they want to have a tendency like to like foul out, like cool,
like chug out,
cool, like, you know, and this thing it'll just idle, and you can just lug it, and with the auto clutch, Recluse did a great job with that.
It's cool because you can pivot rear steer and use that rear brake and not have to worry about covering the clutch. So if you guys want to like bring your rear end around like these off-road racers do in these tight trails without having to pull on your clutch to worry about stalling it, this whole Recluse auto setup that's the key. Like that is beauty right there.
And I noticed, you know, with the Trail Tech computer, we had the buddy system on, so I would make sure you didn't get lost out there.
Did you see it stop for about 2 minutes?
Yes, I was a little worried when I saw like no movement, but but you know, now that I know that you crashed, but I was able to see and make sure you didn't get lost out here in the creek.
It's funny, the Scott steering dampener, some of these moto guys that turn to off-road racing, their first touch of steering dampeners is with the Scotts, and one rider comes to mind that recently had just been riding some outdoor motocross, and he's an off-road kid now, and now he goes back to the motocross track and is like, without his steering dampener, he's like, oh man, I'm out, like I going back. So having this on square edgy, faster, type terrain, especially out here in the West Coast, that is a must.
What about this? Talk about the
unique.
suspension. I mean, this is pretty unique. You know, obviously the Austrian bikes come with WP setup. Rob decided to purchase this A-kit Showa stuff directly from Europe. I believe it came from Italy. I mean, if looks could be as expensive it is, I mean, it's definitely worth the money in the looks. How'd you think it handled?
So if you're a vet rider, half the battle is the looks, right? I mean, you got to make it look good. You got to have the bling. So for me, I don't know your buddy, but I feel like he must like some type of feel from a Showa. Usually you'll see KYB inserts or WP on this model. It's rare that I ever see a Showa component on a steel frame bike. But nonetheless, it has more action than a WP. The WP feeling is more of a performance type feel where it has more hold up, but yet it's a deader type feeling. This is quicker action. It follows the ground better and a little soft for me, but I think it's cushy for a guy that's going to plan on riding 4, 5, 6 hours. You need some of that comfort, right?
And I'm 220, you're
170.
170, so it did feel a little soft for me as well at 220. I think it's going to feel softer for you because you're going faster than me out there.
I don't know about that. You'll see in the GoPro.
But overall, I mean, I felt like it was definitely really plush.
It is.
You know, I ran it through a lot of the tight rock sections, bouncing off rocks. Didn't want to deflect off. It would, you know, hammer through them. So really like that. Obviously, you can do that type of stuff too. Like we were talking about the nitro mousses. But I think overall, what do you think about the power from the FMF pipe and titanium 2.1 silencer?
Now we're getting to the good stuff, people.
I mean,
so I've had some experience. I told D this before I got on the bike. I had some experience on this model in stock form, and like we said at the top of this, they're very linear. This power band is linear, and everything is made for low RPM situations. So I've tested this stuff. Actually, you can go to my website. There is a test on this pipe and silencer. But what this does, it just brings a little bit more excitement out into this package and then makes it pull a little bit longer. Because what you notice if you have one of these bikes at home in stock form, they just kind of run out too. They don't really rev out that much. So with this FMF setup, you'll get a little bit more excitement and a little bit longer pulling power for each gear. Most of that for me is second and third gear because I didn't really get out of that in the tight trails. But somehow we need to work on either the rider or the durability on that side.
Yeah, I think both riders just wanted to test out the durability of two-stroke pipes. But ultimately, I think that's why we're in business as FMF, because people do dent two-stroke pipes. So you know, we tested that theory out today.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to buy Rob a new exhaust, but it's equipped with our titanium 2.1 silencer. We weren't riding where a spark arrestor was mandatory or legal. We're at a closed course property, but normally we would throw on the turbine core 2.1 silencer, so that makes sure that we're legal, forestry safe. But
nowadays it's summertime out here. Make sure you guys do that. I know a lot of you guys say, "Oh, I don't need it. It's not going to start a fire." That's false. You guys can and will, and then that's a hefty fine, and then it's just not good for our environment. So let's try to keep on the straight and narrow and listen to that. So,
but overall, I'm stoked on the build.
Especially the looks.
The looks, like you said, if looks could kill, this thing nailed it. There's so many cool pieces. We'll list them all out in the
we have a parts list coming out in the RacerX magazine, so you can check that out. But overall, fun build for me. Really cool to be a part of this with Lil D and FMF for 50 years. FMF has been a part of my heritage growing up through my father, and then now me, and then now my son. So Lil D's the same way, you know, he's grown up around it. We've raced each other way back in the days of Ultracross series. Remember
Ultracross, baby, Anaheim Stadium.
That's right. So stay tuned for more garage builds on RacerXOnline.com. Don't forget, 12 issues, $30. You'll see more of this bike inside that issue, so don't forget. There is a really cool Loretta Lynn's package going on if you do subscribe. There is a lot of giveaways at Loretta Lynn, so if you qualified and you want to subscribe, you might want to do that now. Hit that button. And stay tuned for more garage builds and more product reviews over here on RacerXOnline.com. See you on the next one.